Look, it's Tucker. Mayonnaise.
What's Cedric?
Now you have to be Tucker. I don't think he's saying anything. Who's gonna play Angela?
Can you,
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would absolutely love it if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, if you would like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps to get the videos out there. It inspires me to keep creating, and overall just lets me know that you guys enjoy what I'm putting out here. Today we are going to be getting into day 29 in the Big Brother house, and I feel like we had a lot of conversations that we've heard before, I'm not gonna lie, but I do feel like the house divide is getting more and more defined. I think there are definitely people starting to realize things, and I think that overall, hopefully that means we could see some shifts. Also, I think going into this eviction, it seems like things may go one way, but I do see the possibility of a blindside rising up. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's begin. So we start off yesterday with Tucker, Joseph, and Leah. They are having a conversation.
In this game, you're not supposed to.
Chivalry's dead.
In every other aspect of the real world, yes. But I came here.
For the fishies?
What drew me in here was the 750K, bro.
And the fishes.
Like it did everyone else.
And they are talking about Tucker using the veto. Joseph says, look, I thought that you would save your girl. And he's like, no, at the end of the day, I like her, she's cool, but we're not in a showmance like that. Obviously, I don't know. He just keeps talking about how he was never really going to save Rubina or put himself on the line for Rubina, which, like I said, girl, if I was you, no, I'm joking. Joseph and Leah are also having a conversation, and they're discussing focusing their time and energy on getting out Tucker.
My thing about it is that he's very good, but he's one person.
Exactly.
So, am I gonna focus all my energy and focus on one guy who eventually...
They both kind of realize that it is pointless to just put everything into Tucker, because at the end of the day, Tucker is one person and eventually he's going to lose. It's way better to get out somebody who has a lot of people behind him. And I agree. This is something that I've constantly said. I don't know why so many people were fixated on getting out Angela, getting out Tucker, getting out these people that really don't have anyone behind them, rather than disarming a big alliance, a big group of people. They do get into Quinn and how Quinn is a try-hard, and again, I just agree with all of it. I think that Joseph has some good points. I think Joseph is very brain-wise, he does not know where he stands and how he looks, but I think his takes on the rest of the house are fairly accurate, and I do agree with them a lot that maybe getting Tucker out is just not something to fixate on. So Tucker and Rubina have a conversation. They both talk to Leah earlier in the day to figure out where her head is at, where she's...
I know. And she and I have just had heart-to-heart.
Yeah. I talked to her yesterday, and again, I don't think she thinks that Quinn is attached to her, so
yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I think Quinn and Cedric are like this, so I'm thinking.
I do think Leah is one of the people that everyone is really trying to talk to, because she's so up in the air. Leah doesn't have any defined alliances, so Leah's vote could go either way. And being that this vote does seem like it's split, we kind of have a house split. Every single vote counts, right? So Tucker says Joseph and Leah would vote out Cedric over Rubina, which is not true. That's just flat out a lie. But they want to bring in Angela and form something with them. As we know, Tucker and Angela are still very close, and Tucker, even invited her into that other alliance that they have, but they still want to work with Angela. At this point, he says Cam is locked 100% in with Quinn, and for some reason, Tucker seems to have this idea that Cam and Quinn are like this, and I just don't know where he got that from, being that they are not. But for some reason, he is under the impression that Cam and Quinn are like this crazy dynamic duo. And he tells her that he asked Cam to work together multiple times, but the reason why he was asking Cam to work together like that was because he was trying to plant seeds and see where that all goes. Overall, though, he says that Quinn claims that he would get him out next week. And yeah, they just still determined that the target is Quinn. Tucker's target is Quinn and Cam, because he feels like there's some kind of like hidden dynamic duo. Now, Joseph is also in this conversation. He talks about, look, like after Rubina leaves, he whispers, they have a little bit of a whisper conversation, and he says, look, no matter what, bro, we gonna get his A out next week. We gonna get him out next week.
Personally, I'm just gonna fucking get his ass.
Smart man. I'm up all in you know, all fucking day, bro.
Whatever happens to you, because I know you're a big target, I'll give a fuck.
Yeah.
I will get his ass.
Yeah. And then,
Okay, I'm gonna get him out, I promise you. Like, talking about Quinn. So again, Tucker and Joseph, they have this final two, or this group of two. It seems legit, but as we obviously, like from Tucker's side, I think it's legit. I haven't heard him say anything against it being legit, but we do know with Joseph that Joseph has said, look, I'm playing the fence. Whoever's in power is who I'm really going to stick with, because as we know, obviously those two have their secret duo, but also Joseph is very, very close with Quinn. So yeah, he's definitely playing the middle at this point. Not sure how that's going to go down next week, because obviously the two sides are kind of opposed. So it's like when you have to pick a side, then what's going to happen? But anywho, Brooklyn comes in and tells Rubina that the only concern right now is if MJ pulls herself off the block. So Tucker and Joseph have a conversation, and at this point, he fills him in on Angela wanting to form something last night. Tucker says, look, I would still put up Cedric, Quinn, Leah, and Cam if I get HOH next week.
he approached. It was like, came on, T-Core, Rubina, and I up there at the official release. And she just came out and was like, I want to be a part of this. I don't know if you guys are something. It's like aggressive. Dude, it was Limo.
His targets really haven't changed. Joseph says keeping Cam and Leah around is good because them as a duo is more threatening than Tucker on his own. And I'm like, Cam and Leah? Why do people, like, I'm just so lost about these duos. Why does everybody think Cam has like these hidden duos with people? I mean, Cam and Leah, yeah, they had their little thing, but they, as far as I understand, after their big fight, they've kind of taken their distance from each other. So again, that's why I say sometimes the reads are good. Tucker's reads are completely off, but that's because he's on the outside. Joseph's reads are okay, but sometimes they're completely off. Now, Joseph is speculating that Chelsea and Brooklyn have a final two. That's another thing that happened yesterday. A lot of people started to realize, woo, Chelsea seems like she's kind of all over the place. Chelsea was called a snake by some people, by Tucker. I don't know, but people are definitely starting to get on to Chelsea and the fact that she seems like she has her hand in a lot of different pots. And yeah, Tucker calls Chelsea a snake. So Chelsea and Brooklyn also have a conversation. They are counting votes, you know, for each side, for each scenario.
Nancy was trying to start an alliance That's true. Way back, but not anymore. Wait, that was so That's way back in this house.
They are saying that Tucker thinks Angela will break the tie if it's Cedric versus Rubina. And they're discussing what to tell Tucker if Rubina does end up going. Because Brooklyn says, look, like, I'm not going to be able to vote for Rubina. I'm not going to be able to vote against Cedric. If it does go that way, she told a bunch of people yesterday, like, if it is Cedric versus Rubina, she has to stick with Cedric because it's going to be way too obvious if she votes against him when it comes to the alliance. So Brooklyn says, look, I will tell Tucker that the whole house was voting a certain way. That's what I was told, so I just went along with that. But Brooklyn does say if she wins HOH, at this point, she would put Angela and someone from their side on the block. She's talking about how she wants to stack the AI arena, so that way they have the greatest chance of getting out their target, which I presume is Tucker, right? So they say at the end of the day, if it's not Tucker next week, then it will be Angela. One of those two will just go out. So Brooklyn and Chemo also have a conversation, and she is just reiterating to Chemo that if Angela does not get out next week, she makes it to jury.
She thinks Rubina's after her because of Tucker. She's like, Rubina will do whatever Tucker tells her. I'm like,
Also, you know what it looks like? It looks like Leah's trying to get closer to Tucker too.
And this is another thing that Brooklyn has been going around telling everybody, that if Angela doesn't get out next week, she's making it to jury. She's making it to jury. She's making it to jury. And I agree. I've already said I think the spotlight is off of Angela. For me, I don't see the purpose in getting out Angela. She's not a threat. Okay, she's like literally here begging to be part of alliances because people still are looking at her crazy from week 1. So for me personally, yeah, I think Angela has a pretty easy ride to jury as long as she doesn't get too delulu, as long as she doesn't fly off the handle again. I think she's pretty much guaranteed jury in my personal opinion. So they do again discuss the worst case scenario of if it's Cedric versus Rubina. She does again let Chemo know, look, if it is, I will not be able to vote with Rubina. I will have to vote with Cedric, you know, and at the end of the day, I'll take that hit with Tucker, but I have to stick with the alliance. Now, she also tells Chemo that Leah will vote out Rubina because she likes Tucker and she feels like it will give her a chance with Tucker if Rubina's gone. Ordinarily, I'd laugh at that, but knowing that Leah thinks she's on Love Island, I'm not like 100% convinced that that's not true. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, Tucker tells Rubina that Cedric isn't a threat anyways anymore. He's already beat him before, and Tucker basically says, I don't really care who gets out at this point. Like, I don't care if Cedric gets out. Okay. Tucker and Brooklyn have a conversation, and Tucker, if it's Rubina and Cedric, then Angela breaks the tie. A lot of people have continued to say this. They keep talking about this possibility of what happens if it's Rubina versus Cedric. They're, you know, if MJ does indeed take herself off, which I do like. I will give them this. I like that they're talking about all of the possibilities and they're not just assuming it's going to go one way, because we know with these competitions, it seems to be anybody's game. So Brooklyn asked Leah what she would do if it was, like who she would vote out. And of course, at first she said MJ, but then she was like, well, what if it's not MJ? You know what I mean? Like, then who would you take out? Tucker says, look, at the end of the day, Leah will float with the house. She's just gonna vote out whoever, but she is really annoyed with Quinn though. And that's another like subplot going on, that Leah is talking so much ish about Quinn. She's really annoyed with him, and every single person in the house knows this except Quinn. Everybody else knows this though. So Leah and MJ, they talk, and Leah's saying, look, if Quinn wins HOH, it's probably going to be Tucker and Rubina up. MJ says, and probably the third person would be myself, right? Like, you know, Leah says, look, you're not Quinn's target though, okay? Like, you're a number for him, so you don't really need to worry about if you're going to be up on the block next week and what's going to happen.
Quinn's target right now. So that's someone that you should get a number from.
Yeah.
And then that's the idea that
But
needs
I
to happen.
think Quinn and Cedric are close.
And MJ says, look, Quinn and Cedric are really, really close. And she overheard like Chelsea and Cedric talking, I guess. And Leah's like, huh? But at the end of the day, they think, or I think MJ thinks that Quinn wants to break up the showmance, or one of them thinks that Quinn wants to break up the showmance, which is Rubina and Tucker. And Leah says, look, the AI arena at this point is between MJ and Cedric because Rubina has no chance of winning. And again, I don't know. I just don't think that's the mindset to go in with this season, because we know that these competitions are kind of anybody's game. Tikor and Cedric have a conversation, and Cedric is just basically asking, like, look, do I need to be worried going into Thursday? Like, I think y'all got me, but
I don't know what Tucker would do. I don't know if he's worth talking to.
Pretty sure Tucker wants to send me out the house. Like 100% positive.
I mean, but he could be someone worth talking to too.
Like, am I good? She says, look, you should win the AI arena, like, to be safe, you know, of course, but we got you, like, it's okay. They do discuss the vote a little bit, going back and forth, but overall, T-Core's like, look, you're safe, don't worry about it, I got you. We got you. So Joseph and Tucker have a conversation, and at some point they name their like alliance the Critics. But they are discussing once again bringing Angela into their alliance.
And she just came out of the room like I want to be a part of this. I don't know if you guys are telling me. I was like aggressively, dude, it was Nemo. Everyone is like, I was like, yeah, sure.
Or just bringing Angela along with them at this point. They say, look, she can win mental comps. She's a number. She's won multiple HOHOs. And hey, like, okay, a lot of people want to count her out, but Angela has some of the most comp wins in the house, so maybe they should be looking at her as a number. They also like that she will do anything that Tucker wants at this point because he took her down. Joseph says, look, if I tell Cam to throw next week's HOH, he will, because he doesn't want to make enemies. Like, Cam really doesn't want to win. And they also discuss how they have the numbers to keep Rubina, but if it gets close, just listen to the speeches. Joseph does say, if Cedric's up, I can't vote him out. You know, a bunch of people, again, have been saying, like, we really can't vote Cedric out at this point because it is too obvious. But, you know, obviously, Tucker understands that, and he says, look, if it gets to that point, just do what you want to do. But basically the way that they have set up their alliance is that each one of them has a different side of the house. So there's like the Joseph side, and then there's the Tucker side, and they both are going to kind of manage their sides of the house to then come together and overrun the house, if you will, basically. So at this point, Joseph tells Tucker, look, you need to get closer to MJ, and he asks Tucker to help him get in with Angela so he can kind of have those feelers out, but they're going to stick with their side of the house and vote whatever that way they want to vote, no matter what. And at the end of the day, they'll be talking behind the scenes, getting out who they truly want to get out. Which I want to see how it plays out. I'm gonna be honest, I want to see how it plays out. I like strategy, I like games, so I want to see how far they take this. Now, T-Core and Chemo have a conversation, and T-Core expresses how she feels left out of the CCC alliance. She says, look, there's only 4 black people in the house, and because of that, she feels really left out of that group, that she's not really ever included with them. Then Chemo tries to comfort her and say, look, like, you were meant to work here in the game with me. And T-Core gives a really nice speech about how, like, to him about how she loves what he represents.
I love having you here. I love your presence. I love who you are.
Yeah.
But also, I love everything you represent. You know, the fact that you're queer.
He's Native Hawaiian, he's a queer person. She just really, really loves what he represents, how good of a person he is. And it's really nice. It's a really sweet speech. She also really appreciates how open he is with his feelings, because she says, look, I'm not good at that. I don't cry. I don't do those things. So for her, she really, really does have that appreciation for Chemo. And hey, I love their duo. I think it's great. I want Chemo to get his head in the game a little bit, because like I said, I do think to some level he sometimes brings down T-Core's game, but I will give him credit where credit was due. At least he's talking with Tucker and he's talking with Brooklyn yesterday, and so I like that. They also talk about how Brooklyn and Chelsea have not told them about the Pentagon yet, and also T-Core knows at this point that Brooklyn told Chelsea about 5 points. So again, this, like, we don't really like the collective, we want to blow up the collective, we're not really feeling happy with them. It is getting stronger and stronger with those two, and I do think that if they get the numbers, we might see the implosion of the collective, okay? Now, they also have a conversation with Leah, a long conversation. Y'all know Leah can talk. So they talk about Leah, ask her where her head's at. Leah says, look, I've been pretty much alone in this game at this point. I'm okay with sending out MJ because she has self-entitled behavior. And remember, Leah already told us that she is, like, her voting is based off of also who she wants to live with for the summer, which I'm like, girl. So she says that MJ is self-entitled. However, she says she knows she'd win against her at the end, so it does benefit her to keep MJ. But it takes away from her game because whenever MJ's around her, nobody wants to talk game with her. So she says it's best to let her go if it's her versus Rubina, because at the end of the day, she can beat Rubina in competition. She says, like, if there's a veto and I pick Rubina and I need to take myself off, I have a much better chance of beating Rubina than I do MJ. So basically, she says, like, she's okay with voting out Rubina, or voting out MJ, sorry. But she also says, like, look, if Rubina leaves, it does make Tucker stronger, though, because now he's not going to be focusing on the showmance and he'll get his head in the game. And it's just so crazy how far some of these people's reads are, because I don't think his showmance is the reason why Tucker has been acting the way he's been acting, but okay. At the end of the day, she says she is unsure about Cedric and Rubina, though. She doesn't know really where they lie. She's not working with them. But she does assure Tikor and Chemo, look, I'm comfortable with you guys. I like you guys. So if I win, you two are not going up. So Chemo and Quinn also have another conversation, and they're discussing Brooklyn. They're discussing how Brooklyn is super well insulated, as well as Chelsea, and that neither one of those two really need to be in more alliances.
But then still, more people, potentially, maybe more. I don't know, but more people that don't include us in it.
Stop making alliances and adding them because they are in the best spot in the game. Good read. +1 for Quinn. He also says that Cedric would likely try to form something with MJ, but she's on her way out the door, which I don't, okay, I don't know about that one. Now, Quinn says Chelsea tried to suggest taking out Rubina over MJ. However, he shut that down because they need Rubina as a number. And Chemo asks again, like, look, would you bury the hatchet with Tucker and consider working with him? And make it look like they're still warring. At this point, Quinn says, look, I'm open to it, but I think it would probably need to be facilitated by Rubina. So Chemo and Tucker, they just catch up a little bit, and he tells Tucker about the conversation with Leah. Tucker does suggest in this conversation, look, why don't you tell the people who are willing to vote out Cedric that they're not the targets, you know, kind of entice them to do what you want. And those are kind of like the big conversations of the night. So there are a couple of things of note. So first off, Leah is still complaining about Quinn all day, every day. As I said, there is this subplot of Leah just complaining. Even she and Tucker go into a room and they start complaining about Quinn. And it's just weird because everyone in the house knows about it but him. Leah and Tucker both said they would put up Quinn if they win. And Tucker also wants to put up Cedric. So after the conversation with Leah, Tikor felt she and Chemo could possibly work with Leah, but Chemo is a little more skeptical because he doesn't like that she wants Rubina around for the wrong reasons. The only reason why Leah wants Rubina around is because she can beat her. So if she feels like that's not the case, then she'll probably want to get Rubina out. Now, they discuss how the collective is all upstairs, because at this point, while they're talking, the collective is upstairs. Mind you, they're not having game talk because the collective doesn't ever talk game. Chemo pointed that out a few days ago. But the collective is up there. They're always having conversations. They're always kikiing together, and they don't ever invite Tikor and Chemo. And so Tikor's like, look, I want to blow that ish up. Like, I'm so tired of the collective. And honestly, they both say they want to vote out Cedric. And that's what I want to touch on for a minute, because I genuinely think there could be a blindside. Look, they wanted to get out Cedric and they need to bring that to Quinn. There's actually going to be a meeting between the visionaries this morning. Okay, so we'll talk about it in tomorrow's recap. But I do believe that if they can get Quinn on board with getting Cedric out, there is a strong possibility that there could be a flip if Cedric does not win the AI arena and Cedric could get out. Because think about it. Tikor, Quinn, Chemo. Then, like, Tucker would vote with them. Tucker would vote with them. Angela will, well, Angela's HOH, so I guess she doesn't really get a vote. But, like, if you really think about it, it could be close. Because all they would need to do is convince a few more people. I'm sure you could get Leah on board to vote out Cedric. Leah already said she's unsure of Cedric. Like, I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like, I could see a world where if Tikor and Chemo really carry this out and get Quinn on board, and then they bring that plan to Tucker, and I'm sure, like, I don't know, Joseph says he wouldn't vote out Cedric. Brooklyn says she also would not vote out Cedric this week, no matter what. But I'm sure there's a few stragglers who you could convince to vote out Cedric. So I don't know. I'm just saying there is a possibility of a blindside. I want to see Tikor and Chemo bring a plan to fruition. And so there is supposed to be a meeting of the visionaries this morning, and we will see what ends up happening. Chemo also wants to blow up the Pentagon. Like, child, he wants to blow up the Pentagon, but yeah, they need to talk with Quinn. All of these plans they're talking about, they need to talk about with Quinn. So that is kind of where we leave off yesterday, where it is like, I'm going to say it's probably 98% MJ. Like, if MJ's still up, it is her. If it's Rubina versus Cedric, I don't know. Things are starting to look dicey. So we will see. We will see. Last little thing to touch on, we had that clip episode yesterday where CBS bamboozled us and told us they were revealing the next twist to get us to watch those clips, and they did not reveal it. They revealed the name of it. The name of it is the AI instigator twist, and I'm like wondering what this could be. The first thing I thought about was the saboteur from like season 12, I think it was, but I'm not sure. I'm also wondering if we're going to get the AI arena, that is finished. So we will see. But that is where we are at, y'all. Day before eviction. So I think the game talk is probably going to rev up. We might see a flip again today. I'm thinking hopefully today should be a good day. But if you made it to this point in the video, that means you like the video. So please help me to drum up engagement on these videos by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, okay? Share these videos with people in your life that watch Big Brother, that like other reality shows, because guess what? We're also recapping the Challenge 40 that starts tonight. So look out for that review within the next, like probably tomorrow. Look out for that review, as well as in a month, Survivor is starting. So we're going to have that on the channel as well. So there are other shows. You know, if you love Big Brother, we got Big Brother for the rest of the season. I know some of y'all watch these other shows too. Okay. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure the bell is on so you always get notified when the new videos are coming out, okay? Because they come out daily, girl. It's daily and consistent content for y'all. And make sure you are still subscribed, because some people are getting unsubscribed, okay? YouTube is on that funny stuff again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next recap. Bye!